Texas, 1892. The first light of dawn cuts through the chill at Lone Star Ranch, where Henry Caldwell grips his Remington shotgun with hands scarred from decades of hard living. At 52, he's seen more ghosts than most men his jet 25 years haunted by loss. 5 riders crest the hill, dust kicking up under their horses' hooves, led by Victor Hargrove, the tycoon who controls half of Dustwood and hungers for the rest, including the 20-year-old woman hiding behind Henry in her ripped bridal gown. Her name is Clara Benson. Last night, she was meant to wed Hargrove. Instead, she fled to Henry, the one man who ever made her feel truly protected. Hargrove's shout echoes across the yard. "Caldwell, hand over my fiancée, or we'll drag her out over your corpse." Henry's teeth clench as Clara's breath warms his ear, her fingers digging into his arm. This is how feuds ignite, not with grand armies or lofty ideals, but with one man's stand to defend what his heart claims, even if society calls it forbidden. What will Henry do? Has the line already been crossed? Stick around to find out how deep this runs. Henry Caldwell wasn't always a shadow of a man, isolated on his 800-acre spread in the Texas Badlands. Back in the day, he was Lieutenant Henry Caldwell, Confederate cavalry, charging through Union barges, defending homesteads from Comanche raids, returning to a wife with a laugh like spring rain and a daughter who called him daddy. Then came 1880, a brutal stampede that claimed them both in a freak accident on the trail. That's when Henry built Lone Star Ranch, not for fortune, just for endurance, rising each dawn to wrangle cattle until bone-deep fatigue chased away the nightmares. Dustwood sprang up 8 miles east, but Henry steered clear. When he did venture in, folks muttered about the recluse who forgot how to live but wouldn't die. For years dragged by in solitude, until the afternoon Clara Benson's wagon shattered an axle on the road to Austin. She was 19 then, home from college up north, brimming with ideas and spirit. Her father ran Dustwood's Soul Bank. Her mother had passed in a riding mishap when Clara was small, leaving her to mature fierce and independent under her dad's watchful eye. The wagon carried her back from kinfolk visits. 3 outlaws ambushed at Rattlesnake Gulch. Seeking payroll, they got a girl with fire in her gaze instead. Henry was scouting strays nearby when her cry pierced the air. He rode in to find Clara cornered against the wagon, clothes torn as the thugs argued her fate. Henry didn't pause. 3 blasts, 2 down, the third fleeing at the steel in his Aisa man who'd faced death and blinked last. As Henry helped Clara down, a spark jumped between them. She peered beyond his rugged features to the sorrow beneath. He glimpsed past her youth to the resilient soul inside. "Thank you," she murmured. Henry just nodded, saw her to town, turned down the bounty, and vanished into the hills. But Clara couldn't shake him. She started detouring by his ranch on rides, stealing glances. Henry spotted her, but kept his distance, sensing trouble in a young woman's interest. One evening, she left a blue scarf knotted to his fence post, embroidered finely with a slip for saving me. "May peace find you." Henry tucked it away, telling himself it was nothing. But in Texas, secrets simmer like heat under the soil not buried forever. Victor Hargrove stormed into Dustwood like a norther, calm at first, then ruthless. 48, flush from oil strikes and land grabs, he charmed with talks of growth and wealth. Locals saw promise. They missed the shark. His playbook, lend big, then crush. Generous credit to faltering farmers and shopkeepers. When payments lagged, he seized deeds. In 18 months, he held a quarter of the county. Then he targeted the Benson Bank. Robert Benson was straight arrow in a crooked game. When droughts scorched herds, he stretched terms. When storms wrecked fields, he held off seizures. Noble but bankrupt bound, Hargrove proposed a merger, fancy for takeover. The fine print buried killer rates. In 5 months, the bank teetered. Benson's options: ruin or Hargrove's ultimatum wed his daughter for solvency. She's barely 20. Benson objected. Old enough for responsibility, Hargrove sneered. Meanwhile, Clara had blossomed into a stunner. Golden hair that gleamed in sunlight, green eyes sharp with wit, curves that turned heads and stirred memories. But her thoughts fixed on one, the loner at Lone Star. She'd ridden by countless times, once catching him shoeing a Mustang, shirt unbuttoned, sinews rippling under tanned hide. She hid in the scrub, pulse pounding, until he sensed her and she bolted. She was tumoring for a man twice her age, a virtual stranger scarred by life. Didn't matter, the soul craves what it craves. When her father broke the engagement news, Clara's world shattered. "I refuse," she snapped. "You must," Robert choked, "for the family, the town." Hargrove would erase the debts. And me? What about my life? Robert averted his eyes. "You'll adapt. But some fates demand rebellion, even at mortal cost." The wedding loomed for October 10th, 1892. Dustwood buzzed. Hargrove splurged on champagne from New Orleans, a gown from Chicago, orchid from California. His crowning conquest, the Benson legacy and the county's prized beauty. Clara spent the evening barricaded in her room. Robert had confiscated her boots, stationed a watchman. "For your safety," he claimed. That night, Hargrove barged in, shooing the guard. Clara stood at the window in her shift, arms folded, gaze averted. "My sweet Clara," he oozed, voice slick as oil. "Tomorrow, you're Mrs. Victor Hargrove. My body, maybe," she shot back. "Never my spirit." His eyes roamed her form, the dip of her hips, the rise of her bosom under thin fabric, her defiant jaw. "Spirits break, reform. I'm an excellent instructor." Clara's flesh crawled. This was her doom, his grip, his bulk, his lessons. "I doubt you'll enjoy the challenge," she warned. Hargrove grinned. "Taming Spitfires is my thrill." He departed, leaving dread like ash in her throat. Clara bided till midnight. The house is silent, and the guard is snoring. She shed her shift, donned hidden trail gear, breeches, blouse, boots, like the free girl pre-duties cage. The window eased open. The mesquite branch held. The earth cushioned her drop. Her mare, Starlight, waited saddled. Best rider in the region, Clara proved it that night, galloping through shadows to the man who'd sparked her safety. Henry heard the thunder of hooves at 1 a.m. He snatched his Remington, peered out. A slight rider, expert balance, his gut twisted, recognizing the mount. Clara Benson leaped down in his dooryard, bridal gown shredded from the flight. Moonbeams lit her locks, her heated cheeks, her resolute stare. "Clara," he swung the door, but kept the gun leveled. "What in God's name?" "I couldn't wed him," her voice cracked. "Won't." Henry lowered the barrel, stepped forth. She trembled, not from cold terror, rush, deeper fire. "Your Paul fret. My pa traded me like livestock to bail his bank." Fury sparked in her eyes. "And you? You're my refuge." Henry's mouth dried. Up close, her scent enveloped him, her throat's throb visible, evoking that wagon day-like he was redeemable. "Can't aid this," he muttered. "Ain't proper." Proper's marrying a monster? Being his chattel? She inched nearer. "I'm 32 years your junior. So, I'm more into family. Tongues will wag. Let him." Her palm pressed his chest. "Henry, you've haunted my thoughts since the rescue. I've circled your land, yearning glimpses, dreamed of your touch." "Stop," he urged inwardly, but she pressed. "You sense the draw. The stares when you think I'm blind." Henry's restraint was a levee cracking under flood. 25 years alone, for grieving, weeks eyeing this girl-turned-woman, knowing he shouldn't crave. The levee burst. His arms encircled her waist. She yielded, gasping. Her mouth was tender, urgent, flavored with need and promise. They stumbled indoors, kiss unbroken. Henry booted the door shut, pinned her to it. Her fingers fumbled his buttons as he kissed her collarbone. Sure, he rasped on her flesh. Never sure. The gown's fasteners frustrated. His hands quaked as he freed them. She aided, hasty, bearing creamy skin, her corset swell. Henry scooped her up, bore her to the bedchamber. She felt ethereal, hotter than noon sun. He eased her onto the spread his late wife quilted, then halted. Can't. Wrong. Clara propped up, laces slack, tresses wild. Wrong's dictating a woman's choice. Wrong's owners like Hargrove. She tugged him down. I pick you, Henry Caldwell. This. Their mouths merged, soft then ravenous. Henry's touch revered her form like sacred text awed. Frantic, fearing evaporation. Clara's hands undid his belt, her caress igniting. Grief's decades scorched in her heat. They synced like old flames. Henry's lips exploring every hollow, Clara arching with sighs that maddened him. His shirt shed, her stays followed flesh to flesh, pulses pounding. Please, she breathed, no more delay. Henry's poise splintered, fingers loosened her drawers. She urged, desperate for wholeness, chosen mutually. Inches from union, Henry stiffened hooves pounding many mounts. Clara sensed his rigidity. What? Henry snatched his pistol belt. They tracked you. Hargrove's bellow through the pain. Caldwell. She's mine, send her. Clara clutched the sheet, terror wide-eyed. So near paradise. Henry dressed swiftly, the fighter emerging. Stay put. No matter what, don't emerge. Henry, he kissed her brow, tender amid storm. If I fall, grab my steed, bolt from Mexico. Don't return. Not without you. Must. His gaze distant, odds tallying. Caring for my kind brings pain. But pain's price for worth. Some stands begin in bloody. Dawn-gilded Lone Star Ranch as Victor Hargrove and his 5 gunslingers ring the cabin. Henry fronted his porch, Remington ready. He'd beaten worse in the war, but the stakes soared now. Hargrove, he hailed, you're intruding. Retrieving theft. Hargrove lounged on his stallion like royalty. My bride strayed. She chose free. She's 20 muddled. Hargrove's smirk iced. You exploited that, no doubt. Henry's hold firmed. Watch your tongue. Or what? Murder to your tally. The riders fanned, holsters handy. Henry knew the breed mercs who slew for coin, guiltless. Last chance, Hargrove pressed. Release her, I overlook. Keep her, I'll brand you the deviant preying on grief. Henry advanced. 5 on one-ian cavalry times, he'd summon aid. Today he was it. She ain't yours, he said low. Hargrove's mask slipped. I bought that filly fairer paws in my debt. Collect from him. After you. A thug drew. Henry's shotgun roared, toppling him, shocked. Hell broke. Henry dove behind a trough, slugs shredding planks. 5 foes, for now. 1 circled left. Henry's blast felled him. 3. They hunkered in sheds, pinning him. Ammo dwindled. Amid din, Clara Yelpida, round shattered the window, glass raining. She bled. Primal rage surged in Henry of fury of Shiloh and Vicksburg, a man stripped bare. He charged the stable, 2 foes entrenched. Shotgun thundered twice, both dropped. 1 plus Hargrove. He reloaded behind Bale's drilled habits. The last merc aired, exposing Henry's hits centered him. The survivor fled. Henry spared the lead. Hargrove, alone, dismounted, horse-shielded, and wielded a fancy derringer. Done, Caldwell. When I say, Hargrove emerged blazing wild. Henry aimed, true click, empty. Hargrove's grazed his thigh. whirling him. Henry hit dirt, gun skittering. Hargrove loomed, pistol cocked. 30 years senior, eh? Let's test that. Henry surged with his sidearm, dual blasts. Hargrove's missed. Henry's pierced true. The mogul teetered, hubris fading to shock, then crumpled. Henry rose, thigh streaming. Yard strewn with dead, powder haze drifting. The fleeing murk dwindled. Henry! Clara rushed out, half-clad, catching his sway. How bad? She probed the gash. Survived nastier. But pallor and gas betrayed. Clara guided him in, ripped bandages, hands trembling, yet voice firm. Don't you die on me, Henry Caldwell. Ain't aiming to, he grinned faintly. Got reasons now. But battles, in was prologue. In Texas wilds, reckonings varied. The toughest was self-forgiveness for victory. Dustwood folk arrived midday, gunfire rumors drawing them. They eyed Hargrove's corpse amid his killers. Henry patched by a disheveled young woman glaring defiance. Robert Benson rode in, seeing his daughter's tousled state, fierce loyalty to Henry, and he grasped irrevocability. Papa, Clara said softly, I'm staying. Benson scanned carnage, Henry's dressing, her resolve. I see. Sheriff Harlan demanded accounts. The townsfolk's explanations. But Hargrove's saddlebags yielded gold. Faked notes, rigged loans, and fraud fleecing the region. Caldwell acted in defense, Harlan declared. Whispers of the hermit shifted to a hero who'd unmasked the viper. Doc Ellis mended Henry's leg. Lucky inch over, you'd bleed dry. Ain't luck, Henry eyed Clara. Worth fighting for. Mending needed time, love endurance. Invisible scars are deepest. 7 months on, dust storms scour the plains. Lone Star hummed, stock to break, herds to drive, shared life. Henry mended full, though his leg twinged pre-rain. Clara embraced ranch life, mastering vetting and ledgers. They wed on a Wednesday in May 1893, a quiet rite with Robert beaming as escort. Simple dress, but Henry's breath hitched. Do you, Clara Benson? Take I do, she cut in. Their honeymoon night fulfilled the thwarted eve, tender yet wild, slow then fervent, holy and raw. Clara's patience amplified each caress. By hearth glow, with winds whipping, they loved, future vast as prairies. Henry mapped her like treasure, murmuring her name reverently. After, tangled, pulses easing. Regrets? Taking me battling? Henry pondered. Late kin in Dustwood graves, his girl would have been 13. Lonely eras. Then her eyes, youthful fire-loving, a battered vet. None. Outdoors, gales raged. Indoors, improbable souls plotted endurance, proving love defies calendars, norms, timelines. Texas rose on such rebels. What do you think about this tale of forbidden love and redemption? Drop a comment below sharing your taquito you side with Clara's choice, or see the age gap as a deal breaker. Let's hear your views and spark some debate.